Everyone, welcome to Case a Card, which on the 5th of every month at noon Eastern, three of us, Heather, Ink with Heather, Stmpgrl, and I do a copy and selectively edit card using a current Stampin' Up catalog. So as of right now, as far as I know, they have two catalogs, the July to December mini, which is, I refer to it as the holiday catalog, and their annual catalog, which goes from May to April, I believe. So it's good till next April. So I decided to use the mini, and I decided to do this slimline card here. Now this is part of the Gingham Cottage, and I don't happen to have, I have this set, which I did use. We're going to use, I should say, because we're doing it together. But I did not get the paper. I did not get these pearlized enamel effects basics because I have something else we can use. I don't have this, but we don't need it because it looks like they used this ribbon, and I either have that or something similar, so we'll figure that out when we get that far. But I thought it was different because it's a slim line, and now they use colors that were in this paper, which are garden green and mint macaron for their wreaths, but I'm using evening evergreen and soft succulent. I do like the garden green, I think, a little bit better, but we're going to go with what I have. I think the garden green is a little brighter. Soft succulent, I mean, their colors look fine too. I should have maybe used theirs, but it looks like they have maybe gray granite as a background, and I'm going with real red. Now, Stampin' Up does have some envelopes for slim lines, but I'm going with these Picket Fence Studio slimline envelopes. I think I got these off scrapbook.com and it's in a haul somewhere. And there's only one each of different color, 14 shades of the rainbow. So I'm going with the one that most closely resembled real red, and it's this one. It's a little bit different than real red. Let me show you the difference, but not, I mean, it's pretty close. So I'm going with that. And then I used a real red card base instead, which you'll see in a minute. And I had to cut that a piece of cardstock that's 8.5 by 11 down to 7.5 by 8.5. Now I could have done it a little longer because these are 9.5. I could have gone to 9, but I decided to use the paper as it is, and then I was left with this piece, which I can use for something else. It's okay if there's a little extra in that envelope, right? And if worse comes to worse, I can probably use a Stampin' Up envelope. Let me show you those. Because they come in soft succulent. Oh, well, this pack, all I have left is soft succulent, but they come in soft succulent, smoky slate, and white. And you get 5 of each color, I believe, and they're 3 7/8 by 8 7/8, so they're a little smaller than these other ones here by about ½ inch. Anyway, that's what I used, and we're gonna make it together, which is something we don't usually do anymore, right? So let me bring out what I have so far, and let's start putting it together. So I cut 2 each. Now, this is the cottage wreath set. I didn't stamp the wreaths. I used these 2 dies. Now these 2 dies are slightly different. This one cuts out the top layer, if you will, and this one cuts out this piece that actually these little things bend upwards. And I did run these through my die cutting machine. I think back and forth 4 times. And I do recommend not, I have this magic mat that I use as my base from scrapbook.com. I do not recommend putting both of them together here and going through the machine. I recommend coming back a little bit and maybe having one like here and one over here. Seem to do better at cutting that way. I don't know, when I first did it on the the bottom to like next to each other, it didn't seem to cut as well. Yeah, see, like this one, oh no, there it goes. Sorry. Now another little tip is this one, if you can find the petal here that is connected to another, a leaf I mean, to another leaf, there's a little triangle. And the tip for you today is that triangle, now I probably lost where I was on this, goes where this larger blank space is. So that will help you line them up, I think. Did I do that right? Probably not. Maybe there's another larger space. Oh, goodness me. Hang on. I'm sure there is because I had it all figured out. Yeah. It goes in this blank space here. So look for the two large leaves and the blank space, and there you go. It'll line up pretty well for you. Okay, so that's it. And then what I'm going to do now is just glue them together. I'm going to go ahead and pop all these up a little bit to give it some dimension. Then put this one down on top, and I did not use the glue sheets, the sticky sheets, so I'm going to have to use a fine tip glue if I can find mine, and I'll be back once I have that done. Okay everyone, I discovered something. I think they have 3 layers in here, and this one they used the garden green under the light. This one only looks like 2 layers. This one might only be 2, but they're offset. And this one is definitely 3, 2 of the light and 1 of the garden green. But I used, I cut out 1 each more of the colors, and I did glue them down. I started off using Stampin' Up's fine tip glue, and it worked great for the first one. And then I couldn't get the glue to come out anymore, so I switched to this. They're still drying. It does dry clear, thankfully. But yeah, so I did them like this one. I offset the top one. One of them I offset the bottom one. I don't know. Anyway, that's how they look like so far. And in the picture, there's no ribbon tied around the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and glue this down first. And again, this is cut at 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. So it goes the full length of the card, but there's a 1/4 inch on each side. Hopefully I have enough glue in here to finish today. I do still have some, oh goodness me, what's the glue called? Mono, the white glue from Stampin' Up. But I'm trying to use up, I have this open and this open, so I'm trying to finish them up first before I open another bottle of the other. And I also have my art glitter glue that the pin is stuck in, and I need to just take that apart and pour it into smaller fine tip bottles. I don't know why, I just haven't had a chance to do that yet, but like this. And use them. I have a whole pack of them. So that's glued down. Now, we're not going to put these down yet because, oh, and I also do recommend when you're doing this, use a mat. See, I was making sure my glue would come out. Use a silicone mat or something so you don't get your surface all messed up. Now, in the catalog, they used a red pearlized enamel effects. And I thought I had red in the pearls, but I don't. I brought this out and I'm realizing it's really pink. So I'm not going to use that. I also had these 2 red stickles. One is Christmas red, so we're going to try and use that, although it might be a little dried up. So then I also brought out cranberry, which is a little bit more cranberry red, but I think this one goes better with the real red, so hopefully I can get it to come out. And we're going to go ahead and put this on, and then we're going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and finish the card with you. And I don't know, let me do it up here. There's some glop. Oh yeah, it's coming out right away. So we're just going to randomly put some little red, drops. Maybe not quite so loopy. It's okay. It's all good. I can do some cleanup afterwards. I'm kind of just looking for where there's bigger spots. But I may go back and put more. I mean, in real life, it's not going to be perfect, right? And if you get a little drippy thing, I might put 2 more on. I like the little drop of color. I think I like more rather than less, so I'm going to just lay them on the card and we'll do another one. Well, this is going to have to take a while to dry, so actually maybe what we'll do, let me make sure I'm in frame, is stamp our sentiment and get that ready. While these are drying. Now, somewhere on here we're going to have to put ribbon around, and I don't remember exactly where. You know what, it doesn't matter. If it covers up some of the dots, it covers up some of the dots. They'll be dry by then. There we go. Isn't that pretty? That adds just a little sparkle to it, which I love. Sparkly workly. I've had my stickles. I don't even know, do they make them still? I don't know. I have not been in a big box store for crafts for actually since early in the pandemic, when I had ordered something online from Michael's and went and picked it up there. But other than that, I really haven't. Actually, I want another one right there. I feel like it's missing. There's a bare spot. 2 bare spots, 3 bare spots. Now I'm overdoing it. This is what happens with me. But I like that. And on these wreaths, you see there's a little line, like a space in the middle on all the pieces. That makes it easy. That's where you want to put your glue, and that way the leaves are free, but the center is glued, right? So that's that. Now we have to let that dry. So I pulled out the Merry Christmas from the stamp set, and one of the colors in the paper and what they used is Blushing Bride. So we're going to use Blushing Bride, and then what they did is they cut it. So we'll do the same thing, and I already cut out these pieces. I used copper foil and Evening Evergreen. It looks to me like they use champagne, but I had copper out, and I think that'll be pretty with it. And then just 2 stamped evergreen boughs. I have 2 more, but they didn't get quite how I like them. So it looks like they had 2 foils, so I cut 2 of them. Now the thing about these are, let me show you, hang on. These are, which dies? Where are they? Here. These 2 leaf dies here. The center part pops out. So I just took a tiny little piece of Terran tape, because I didn't have Scotch tape handy, and glued it together because I want them to stay intact, and they left them intact. So there you see the Terran tape better. And these don't obviously have that. So let's see, what color did they stamp with? The green. So we'll use Evening Evergreen. I decided to go ahead and use the pink. It's not something I would have normally picked, but we're going to try it. You know what? I think they did, because that would be awfully tight to cut. So I think what they did is masked, or they might have cut their stamp. I don't want to cut my stamp, so I'm going to mask, hopefully. Let me see. We're going to try it. We're going to see. And do Merry first. Take your masking stuff off. And I'm going to do it over here. Stamp. It worked pretty good. I got a little bit of green on there, but it's okay. Now let me clean my stamp. I'm just going to go ahead and use that same paper. Now we want Christmas, so I have to mask Mary carefully. I want to still get the eye. I think they must have cut their stamp. I think that would be cleaner to do it that way. Trying to make sure I got coverage on everything. And let's do Christmas. We have to do Christmas again. All right. I'm probably gonna have inky fingers now. All right, let's try it. And we'll do that over here next to Mary. It's a little crooked, but I can cut the paper to make up for it, so that's what we're going to go with. Clean my stamp, put my ink away, and I'll go ahead and cut those off camera. I am going to use, I don't trust myself doing it with scissors, so I'm going to use this little thing that's no longer available, and I'll be back. Hi everyone, I'm back. So the stickles on these two are dry. This one are mostly dry, but we're going to go with it because we're putting the ribbon hopefully on this one. Now, I did find I have this ribbon which looks pretty close to what they used, although I think this is retired. It is. But we're going to try it, but I might have goofed because it does look like they wrapped the ends, both ends, behind the paper, which I can't do, so we'll have to figure something else out. And then I did stamp the Merry and the Christmas, and I cut it down like I said I was going to. And so we can put it something like that. I think they cut the Christmas a little closer, but it's okay. It'll work, right? We'll make it work. And then I already had these pieces out. So let's start to assemble this. Oh, and I cut a piece of white cardstock for the inside. Actually, we might do this first. This is 3.5 by 8.25. I did make it a little bit shorter. In fact, let's go ahead and do this first. I'm going to use the little evergreen branches and just do, well, I don't know. Now I don't know. I think I'm going to put a scrap, like maybe 3/4 inch on this instead. I was going to stamp, but I think we're going to do 3/4 inch and just put that along the side over, oops, forgot to take it off my trimmer. Oops. There we go. We'll put this right here and then we'll put it in. Actually, I'll trim that with scissors. All right, let me get the glue. We will just glue this down. Then we're gonna assemble the wreaths. And we'll do the ribbon first and put the two side wreaths down. And I don't think I'm going to bump them up because they already have enough dimension. I'm just trying to get this lined up even. And I'm going to just, there's just a tiny bit, which I'm sure nobody would notice, but I noticed it. I'm just going to trim that down just ever so slightly. Not even a 1/16 of an inch. We'll leave the glue here because we're going to need that. So I was originally going to take and stamp these things down. Actually, you know what? I have these two. Might as well use them. Maybe we'll just go like this. And let's do that. I could use glue dots, but let's see. I don't know what I'm doing. Sort of, kind of don't. And then let's put a dab on here. I think it's going to be too much glue, which will come out the edge. We'll just put that right here. Alright, so now let's glue that all down into the inside of our card. This glue is a little too runny for me. It comes out a little bit too fast, so I don't think I'll be getting that again. And I got it over too far, so let's just slide it a little bit. There we go. There, that's cute. Okay, so now let's get our spacing. Let's close this up momentarily. Let me get organized here. I got too much stuff. I want to leave this. I got glue on my catalog from my silicone mat. It came right off there because it's almost dry glue. Okay, let's see. So we're going to have this one, and this one, and this one, which is still a little wet. And I think I want it like that. Like that. Yeah, just about a 1/4 inch in from the side. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. Just like that. And I'm going to put this block on here, which might be a problem because I'm not sure those red dots were all completely dry. About a 1/4 inch in. Let me get a different block. These feel dry to me. See how that's doing. That's doing okay. Now, we have to do the ribbon. So, you don't need a lot. It looks like they wrapped it around and then they wrapped it through. See, I have a sort of a bare spot here or here. I might need another stickle there. And then they had this tucked behind the card. I'm gonna try and fake like it's tucked behind the card since I already glued the designer paper, down. And you don't need a real long piece of ribbon. This is actually probably too long. But we're gonna give it a try. We'll leave them out because I'm probably gonna need them. I need to bring this a little closer to me. I can probably take those blocks off now. Do this glue for a minute. And get out. I'm going to use snail. I just found my... Never mind. Alright, so let's figure this out. So they have it like this. Like if I can cut that straight across and then have this go like this, but it has to be short enough. Alright, let me cut that straight across. This is me we're talking about, who can't cut straight. Even when the ribbon has lines. I didn't do too bad. And then we're going to end up going like this. Alright, I think I can do this. Guys. Woohoo! So what's going to happen is, they have that going over this way like this. Oh, there. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is put a glue dot, if I can find my glue dots. I was going to use snail. You know what? Let's use snail. Just put a little bit of snail right here. If you're really picky, you can figure out where the center is of your card and and put it in the exact center. And you'll see that's tacked down and it's not in the right spot. It's all right. It'll all work out. I got a little fray piece, but it's all good. We'll just pull that and snip it. There. All right, so this is too long, which we know. Now, oh, we want a little bit of like this. Like, oops, it's over too far too, isn't it? Maybe we can go this way. We can go this way instead. So let me put a little more of this down. Oops, and I got it up too high. And then we're going to cut. We're going to cut across here, and I'm going to have to use a glue eraser. All right, Deb. A little bit tricky. Little bit tricky. There. No glue eraser needed, but more sticky needed. Now we have to stop this wreath from scooching around. And you know what? Since I just have this out, I'm going to just put some on the back of that wreath to tack it in place. There. Not so bad. Not perfect, but not bad either. And I might do that up here too. There we go. To keep the wreath from, yeah, I need a glue dot. That's not going to hold up there. I haven't done a live in a while. You guys miss me? Ha ha ha. I do miss all of you. I just have been really busy. I have a craft fair coming up, my first one in like 3 years or more. 3 years, I guess. Since before the pandemic, that's for sure. And a lot's changed since then, but it's an indoor one and it'll be the first and only one this year for me. Okay, now we made it through that. Now, if that's a little much, I wouldn't do that every time. Couple things. This stamp set has a bow. You could stamp, you know, red on red or a darker red onto real red, and then there's a die. Also, you can either cut out the stamp bow or you can just use this. I should have maybe done that. Anyway, or you can get thinner ribbon and do a bow, you know, but then this makes it look like it's hanging on your door or something, right? So now we have this little part here, and then we're done. So let's try. Let's see, they had the Mary going like this, and it's going to go right down. I might put it over here because that's where I'm kind of missing some red. So I'll put it on the left instead of the right. I'm going to tack that down with a glue dot, actually. I haven't fixed my glue dot roll yet to make it come out of the box better. So we're going to go like that. And then behind that they have one of these and one of these. Let's get another glue dot and stick it on the back here, or two. It's annoying me. Annoying me. Alright, so this is going to go on the bottom here. And then they had, let's use the little one of these. And then this bigger one here. Something like this. Only more up like that. There. And then, I'm not liking how they're laying. There. And then, we need another glue dot, kind of right here. Alright, which will help connect them together. And also put a spot for the other pieces that have to go on the back. So let's see if I can get that lined up good. There, right there. See? Then they're stuck together. And then also we have this greenery. And then I'm going to need another glue dot for this one. And I missed a glue dot, so let's put that here. And let's see, they have that kind of going up this way. Like that, something like that. This has to come down, maybe a little bit. They're not staying, so I'm going to need to put something else back here. A little bit of, another glue dot on this guy, I think. You have to be careful when you pull those pieces up from the glue dot backing because it could tear your paper. So kind of get your tool or thumbnail or something under it and hold it to the paper. There. Now the question is, see, they have it over here going like this. I'm going to put it here and I'm going to glue it down but put a mini glue dot here. And the rest of it I think I can glue onto the wreath. Will that work? No, I need a mini glue dot over here too. Right there. Because that'll be at the bottom. I think I like it right there. Alright, so actually, yeah, I have that in the right spot. I think like that. What do you think? I think that looks good. So, not that you can answer me, but you know. So we'll take them off. We're going to put some glue on these upper bits. Now that was, oh, you know what? I can just peel off that double-sided tape on this one, which still seems to be wanting to move around, and also on this one. But I want the tape to stay there because it's holding that front part of that on, remember? Okay, let's put a little glue on here just in case. Maybe. Oh, come on now. Tell me it's going to run out of glue right at the last minute. No. Okay. Let's give it a try. Right, like that. There we go. I like it. I like it. What do you think? And then they actually did one more little thing, and that is they took their red dots and they put some like right here. But you know what? I'm going to put some here because I had little speckles. Maybe one over here. I had little green dots on there from the ink when I was masking. And I might put one, I'll try to put one here. And here. And while I have it open, is there anywhere else? I feel like I need one here. And here. No, there. And here. I used a few more berries than they did. And let's see, that one looks pretty good. This one, I covered up the bare spots. Okay, I think that's it. So now this has to sit again for a while, but basically it is complete. And I hope you enjoyed my case of card. Let me bring the picture back in. So there is their version on page 58 of the July to December mini. And here is my version. I like theirs and mine. I like the more plain background they have. And there's a little less black, but I also like mine, which I don't know if I told you, that paper is out of the Rustic Harvest. And the other side has this green swirly on it, Old Olive, I think, and or Mossy Meadow, I'm not sure. I think it's Old Olive. But this I thought was close enough because I don't have the cottage paper. So I have other black and white paper, and I was fortunate enough that I had this Rustic Harvest out, and I found that. I was so happy. So I thought it goes really well. All right, everyone, please go check out Ink with Heather and Stmpgrl and see what they've made for Case a Card, Copy and Selectively Edit. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon. I'm going to be at a craft fair when this goes live or up. So forgive me if I can't comment for a day or so. All right. Thank you. Bye for now.